Had we just elected the black lady with the silk press, had we just elected Big Sister General, had we just elected the black lady with the weird laugh, had we just elected Madam the wheels on the bus go round and round, we would not be at war with Iran right now. And I know what some of y'all are thinking. Joshua, why are you screaming? Joshua, how many times you gonna say this? I'm gonna keep saying it until it finally clicks. Because folks, this was an open book test. Not only was this an open book test, the professor was at the board giving the answers and we failed. And now we have 4 dead Americans as a result. We have F-15 fighter jets being shot out of the sky by friendly fire. Had we just elected the black lady with the weird laugh, folks would have money to purchase their first home. The American people would have quality health care. We would not be at war with Iran, spending billions of dollars of taxpayer money that has not been approved by Congress to fund this war. So I'm going to keep saying it, and I'm going to keep screaming it until the American people finally understand, if you could have just set your racism and your sexism aside and voted for Kamala Harris, we would be in a better position today.
Hold on, what's this say? Are you saying Kamala Harris was the better option? Yes! What are we fucking talking about? Million fucking times yes! Over and over and over. Yes, yes, yes! Holy fuck, all I heard on the campaign trail was if you vote for Kamala Harris, you're gonna vote for wars. That happened with Donald Trump. If you vote for Kamala Harris, you're voting for higher gas prices. Have you fucking seen them? Well, she's gonna fuck up the healthcare system. What? Health insurance premiums have gone up 26 fucking % since the beginning of this year. Every fucking thing you all said would happen if we voted for Kamala Harris is happening right the fuck now. Fuck's sake, we cannot keep fucking doing this. It's really getting exposed now. I'm starting to think it was never about the economy. It was never about the affordability crisis. You know what it was about? Trans people and immigrants. Let me tell you how I know, because I live in a small town, and the same people that were bitching about high egg and gas prices under Biden ain't saying shit now. They'll pay higher gas prices at the pump as long as it means that one trans girl from San Jose State can't play volleyball no more. People will pay higher prices at the grocery store as long as it means an immigrant who used the emergency room once gets deported. We're being tricked by a billionaire con man and his fucking buddies into hating our fucking neighbors. And that's the saddest fucking part. Yes, Kamala Harris was the better option. Me and my buddy It's Luke talk about this and a whole lot more other things on the Get Angry podcast on the new episode that just dropped this week. Y'all go bang that shit.
All of us farmers have officially fucked around and we have officially found the fuck out now, guys. I am on the verge of bankruptcy. I'm on the verge of tears. Overnight, all of my help fled. My help, out of fear for their safety, their lives, they fled. And now I am left out here standing in my unharvested carrot field. It is January and I'm in Kansas, and this is when carrot harvest goes in Kansas. This field should be full of workers, but all my workers left. And who the do you think is to blame for that? Every single one of them left. Now I have to by myself try to fill that truck with a load of carrots in one day, and I can't do that, guys. I have to get these carrots to market by next week or my contract is terminated. This is $936,000 worth of carrots right here, and I can't pick them by myself. If they're unharvested, I will get kicked out of that contract and I will get sued by the Planters Loves Carrots.
Kamala Harris was the best option. That is what MAGA voters are saying. Yes, you had me right. That is what MAGA voters are saying. Because right now, the way things are going, they're not happy. They're so angry. They're so angry and they're losing their mind. Why? Because they say they were told, make America great again. They were told grocery prices are going to be affordable. They were told jobs creations are going to be there. They were told America is going to be peaceful. But the alternative has happened. So right now, they're saying Kamala was the best option. What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear from you guys. So let's watch this video and then we're going to discuss much more at the end. Please stay tuned. Kindly subscribe to my channel. Welcome.
It's just been harder and harder and harder to find those people to work.
Bethany Gotts owns Quay's Farm in Mountain Home, but now with fewer workers, a lot of the manual labor is left up to her. She tells me she's tried hiring locally, but it's been difficult to find people willing to do the hard work.
Finding a legal American here that is going to work as hard as an immigrant is nearly impossible.
She even posted job openings on Facebook.
I had 7 people contact me about it, and when I sent them the description, I had no people respond.
She says hiring undocumented workers is not an option, with serious risks for both sides.
One, you're going to get fined. You have unfortunately, an employee living in fear. They could get picked up at any moment, and then you're without an employee.
To keep her farm running, Gotts is hiring high schoolers and is now looking into the federal H-2A visa program.
I have endeavored to spend $200,000 to build a small worker housing so that I can get H-2 workers next year.
Gotts hopes for long-term solutions that support both farmers and workers.
The misnomer that farmers exploit immigrants is just so sad to me because, like I said, my friends and neighbors, we love our workers. They're our family. And they want to work, and they will work hard, and there needs to be a path for these people in our country because our government has failed them. And it is failing, I feel, the farmers.
So the people who say no handouts just lined up for a handout. Now tell me why farmers in Arkansas are standing outside with their hands out again, begging Uncle Sam for money. See, when it's regular people struggling, rent too high, groceries too ridiculous, can't afford health care, the answer is always from these people: stop complaining, stop asking for handouts, and pull yourself up by your bootstrap. Farmers in Arkansas are crying out to the feds for stimulus money like it's open mic night. And look, I get it, because times are hard everywhere. But when you plant your crops, raise your cattle, take on the risks of farming, wasn't that a personal business decision? So why is it on me and you to make sure that that decision keeps paying out? Because see, when you and I make bad decisions, government doesn't cut us a check to make it right for us. Now, let's connect the dots here a little bit. These are the same people voting for the same politicians who say government is the problem. Yet as soon as the tractors stop running and their profits dry up, government magically turns into a solution for them. Ain't that funny and ironic? The question is, do we owe farmers any help? Or do they need to practice what they preach? Figure it out. Tighten that belt. Leave taxpayers out of it. Because last I checked, it's really not our problem.
Let's see how farmers in Ohio are doing right now.
Which one really stands out as the biggest concern on your farm?
Well, they're all important this year, but unfortunately right now fuel is really, it's costing us about $1,500 of cash per day to run 2 tractors. That's a lot. And the other thing is the fertilizer. In my career, I spent many years buying potash for $90 a ton, and now it's at $670 to $700 a ton. The same potash, but it's just a different time. And the other part is farm machinery repair. A lot of those machinery repair items are made overseas, and so they're subject to tariffs and duties. So it's really kind of a perfect storm. You combine all that with getting in a war and getting in, with inflation. It's unfortunate all these things happen at one time. And so, we can blame the administration, we can blame the world economy, we can blame a lot of things, but they are all coming together at one time. And what really our big problem is the input costs. It's just ridiculous. I haven't seen anything this bad.
Farmers say he's paying $1,500 a day in fuel for his tractor. Did he say that fertilizer is skyrocketing? Did you know fertilizer is up 48% and 70% of farmers cannot even afford to buy fertilizer? Did you hear him mention the bankruptcies? Yeah, those are up double digits. Farmer suicide. I think he didn't really get who's to blame. Do you? Drop your comments below.
This is terrifying. What? Farmers across America are going bankrupt. They're calling it Farmageddon. Good. Serves them right for supporting Trump. You still don't get it, do you? Where do you buy food? The grocery store? And you think food prices are bad now? Just wait. Tariffs have decimated farmers. What do you think happens when you start ridiculous trade wars with other countries? They get mad? Yeah, understatement. China's the world's top soybean buyer, and soybeans alone brought in $13 billion for American farmers last year. Now those sales, almost all gone. Yikes. And that's not all. These immigration crackdowns, some farms lost 100% of their workers, all kidnapped by ICE. Now, how do you pick food without workers? You can't. It's rotting in the field. Whoa. Plus, seeds, feeds, machinery, potash, pesticides, all more expensive than ever before. Then you add on high interest rates, and what do you get? Farmageddon? Bingo. And farmers were already 3 times more likely to die by suicide. Ugh. And don't forget, in 22...
Guys, I was wrong, and I can admit that. When people were saying that mass deportations would greatly affect farmers, I didn't actually think they were serious. They said that Americans were unwilling to do the jobs that immigrants do, and I didn't believe them. But this new video that I just saw proved me wrong.
It's just been harder and harder and harder to find those people to work.
Bethany Gotts owns Quay's farm in Mountain Home, but now with fewer workers, a lot of the manual labor is left up to her. She tells me she's tried hiring locally, but it's been difficult to find people willing to do the hard work.
Finding a legal American here that is going to work as hard as an immigrant is nearly impossible.
She even posted job openings on Facebook.
I had 7 people contact me about it, and when I sent them the description, I had no people respond.
I went ahead and found the job listing. She's offering $2,000 to $3,000 a month for full-time manual labor on a farm.
She says hiring undocumented workers is not an option, with serious risks for both sides.
1, you're going to get fined. You have unfortunately, an employee living in fear. They could get picked up at any moment, and then you're without an employee.
To keep her farm running, Gotts is hiring high schoolers and is now looking into the federal H-2A visa program.
I have endeavored to spend $200,000 to build a small worker housing so that I can get H-2 workers next year.
This woman had $200,000 lying around that she could have used to pay some strapping young Idaho corn-fed boys to do the manual labor on her farm, but instead built temporary housing for visa workers. I never thought I'd live to see the day where liberal media was telling people, are you unwilling to pay Americans a fair and decent living wage for hard manual labor? Just import a bunch of people to do it for way cheaper and then put them in a house and they can't go anywhere else because what other option do they have? Man, I feel like there's a term for that, but it's just slipping my mind.
You know what? Kamala is better than me, because if I was her right now, I would have been rubbing it in y'all face this whole time. Y'all would have been sick of the amount of I told you videos that I would have been putting out. I would have had a routine of tweeting every hour on the hour of things that he said was going to happen if y'all voted for me that is happening now. I would have had an outro on every single one of my videos of him saying that he wasn't going to start any new wars, and then I would have clipped the part where he said that this war is necessary. This lady has too much content right now. She could post 5 videos every single day for the next 6 months about contradictions he said about her that is happening now. I would have been rage baiting so much, they would have had to delete my social media. I'm talking about every single day I would have been posting, how about them gas prices? I don't think y'all really understand. If I was her, you couldn't pay me enough to stop. I would have went on a I told you so tour. I would have went to every state that I didn't win and held a rally at the gas station. I would have posted me buying a new home, smiling with all my teeth showing, and my caption would say, you bought a new home yet? I don't think y'all really understand the amount of trolling I would have did. I would have went and stood in front of the White House and flexed a bankroll on y'all. And I would caption it something like, this could have been you, but you ain't want to vote for a woman, I guess. All I can say is this lady is way better than me. But y'all let me know what y'all think. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.
Trump was not the better candidate. That's the problem. Like, Kamala had an economic plan that would have worked. Like, her economic plan would have worked. Tariffs would not have worked. And I can tell you this as someone who studied economics, who studies financial engineering and derivative securities, and who has taken high-level international relations classes and international shipping and freight and all this stuff. Kamala had a comprehensive plan that would have stimulated the economy and helped home ownership. Donald Trump did not. The problem is Kamala could not communicate her plan to the layman. And I would assume you are the average person, right? You do not necessarily understand what goes into making a good economic policy, because Donald Trump is really good at making things sound good on paper. But if you know economics, you know it's a failing plan. And everybody knows it's a failing plan who works in economics. So unless you're talking about like social policy, foreign policy, even no, like foreign policy, absolutely not. Like, unless you're talking about domestic policy in terms of like immigration and stuff is as like your defining factor, by almost every conceivable metric, Kamala Harris was the better candidate. And you can check the policies. Like Donald Trump's policy, like economic proposals didn't make any sense. And so unless you're talking about like social issues, which, okay, I can't quantify, and frankly, like I'm an economist, not a social issuist. Okay, fine. But that's just categorically false. And I had to say something.
Without saying a bad thing about Trump, why should anyone out there vote for Kamala?
Great question. I think that Kamala Harris is a better candidate compared to Donald Trump for two main categorical reasons: policy and character. If we want to talk about character first, like, she's not a 34-count felon. She's not a proven sexual abuser. She's not a religious persecutor that tried to ban all new Muslims from coming into the country, right? She also stands for individualistic rights, freedoms, and liberties, right? She wants to fight to codify federal protections for a woman's right to choose, ensuring, right, that the family dynamic is safe and we're not forcing 18, 19, 20-year-old boys and girls to be parents. If we want to talk about policy, she wants to fight for the average working class American. She wants to reduce income inequities, right, by uplifting the low and the middle class. We could also reference the fact that she wants to limit corporations from buying single-family homes, further ensuring that, the younger generations especially can be a homeowner one day, and this will hopefully make that day sooner. We could reference how she wants to cap the amount of that any American citizen will pay out of pocket to buy pharmaceuticals to $2,000 a year, which is just a beautiful policy, keeping more money in the pockets of those that need it the most. And I mean, there's a plethora of other things that we could talk about here, but at the end of the day, I'd say why we should be voting for Kamala Harris is for progress, okay? Let's make our economy better. Let's care about that average American. Let's ensure, basic human rights. And let's keep the guy that tried to stage a coup to overthrow the country in 2020 out of the office. It's very simple.
Okay. Why should we vote for Trump?
A lot to take in.
Let me tell you something I absolutely love about Kamala Harris. This woman is a warrior. She's about 5'5", $130, $140 soaking wet, and she has stepped up to the plate in a big, big way when her country has called upon her. She is literally going up against the billionaire boys club, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, and she understands that the consequences if she loses this fight may be absolutely devastating. Donald Trump and the people he brings with him, they are promising to literally rip everything that we built in the past 100 years in this multicultural democracy, everything that actually does make America great. They're promising to rip it all to the ground. Her party called upon her, her country called upon her, and they said, we need you to lead us in this fight, but if you lose, the consequences could be devastating. And she said, let's This woman has overcome so much. She worked her way through law school. She became a prosecutor, a district attorney, an attorney general, a U.S. senator, and vice president. I can't even begin to explain to you the amount of work and dedication that it takes to accomplish any, much less all of those things. The only thing that Donald Trump has overcome or come over is Stormy Daniels. Guys, you got this spoiled rich boy. He is literally a poor man's idea of a rich man, an idiot's idea of a smart man, and a weak man's idea of a strong man. This spoiled, entitled bitch boy thinks he can just scream and complain his way back into the highest elected office on the planet. No, we're not dealing with your entitlement, dude. You can't just complain your way back into office. Guys, we are in the fight of our lives here, and Kamala Harris is the head of that fight, and we need to get behind her, and we need to get behind her right now. She is to be respected. She is to be honored. She is to be appreciated. And she, when her country called upon her and said, we need you to lead us in this fight and help us keep our constitutional republic intact, she answered that call. And that is so honorable, and it has my vote. Man, and I absolutely love her for it. Thank you, Kamala. Let's go win this thing.
And if I was Kamala Harris, I would have named that book I Told You So. Bitch, I would do a full rollout of I Told You So t-shirts, I Told You So hats, I Told You So bags, pins, everything. I would absolutely use this moment to relish in the fact that I told you bitches what was going to happen and you didn't listen. Like, as someone that likes to be right even when I'm wrong, this one time that I'm actually right, bitch, I'm milking it till the cows come home. Like the fact that there is documented proof that I was right all along. Oh my God. I would put that shit on my goddamn tombstone. Like, in the history of being right, nobody has ever been righter than Kamala. Like, not only was she right, she was right about everything. She gave you bitches a step-by-step playbook of what the fuck would happen, and everything happened in the same order. I would be on a fucking I Told You Bitches So tour as we speak. I would go around to every motherfucking state and hold a press conference just to say, I told you so. I told you so. Like, she is absolutely not being petty enough for me. Fuck the title 107 Days. The title of that book needs to be I Told You Bitches So for 107 Days.
I just got an email that Netflix is raising its prices to $27. I don't know how old you are, but to me, I am used to paying $7.99 for Netflix, and then when they raised it to $11.99, I threw a fit. I don't know. I like blacked out in the middle, I think, because it must have just kept inching and I just didn't notice or pay attention. Or maybe it's that it's because it's everywhere. So now it's $27 for Netflix. Spotify just went up. HBO Max, whatever the fuck they call themselves now, HBO Plus Max Plus HBO, whatever, raised their prices. Hulu raised their prices. Disney Plus raised their prices. You now have to pay for premium seats when you fly, even though the premium seats are just the regular economy, what used to be. Obviously, we all know about the bags. You used to be able to have a bag. Now you can't have a bag. You have to pay for that. Gas prices, don't even get me started. My insurance went up almost double. My gas bill for the house tripled, more than tripled. I complained about that last month on here. I made a video about that. Literally, I'm in Georgia. I don't know if that's the same everywhere else, but yeah, gas is more than tripled. The county taxes, property taxes, those doubled also. So then my mortgage, because it's in my escrow account, that went up astronomically. What else? Pretty much everything else that I can think of has gone up as well. So I don't know how, grocery prices. Hello, how did I forget that one? Yeah, grocery prices have gone up as well. So it's just like money out the door. I've never made as much money as I do now. And I feel like it doesn't really make a substantial difference in my lifestyle because everything is so fucking bloody expensive. So I can't be the only one who is feeling very frustrated by that. And so I would like you to put in the comments all the things that you're mad about that have gone up in price, because this is just getting to a point where I feel like the pitchforks are going to come out at some point, because we can't do this. Like, what do you mean? This is absolutely like, what is even happening?
Why are y'all so angry? You have the White House, you have both houses of Congress, you have a Supreme Court that is completely obedient to your president. They're willing to give him unlimited power. They're willing to say that he can take SEAL Team 6 and kill anybody he wants. They were willing to affirm that. They're willing to say that ICE can racially profile anybody they want. The United States Supreme Court has said you can racially profile Latinos based on their accent or the way they look. You guys have everything you want. You have legal racial profiling. You've ended DEI. You've ended affirmative action. You get all the best jobs, even if you're not qualified. You can be a Fox Weekend host and be the Defense Department's Secretary of Defense. You can be Kash Patel and be a podcaster who wants to go to Valhalla and run the FBI, as long as you're conservative. You have everything. Why are y'all so angry? What the fuck are you angry about? You've banned all of our books. You've banned Black history. You banned the 1619 Project. You don't have to compete with women for jobs. You've chased them out of the military. You've chased them out of the senior positions in the Department of Defense. You've gotten rid of all the Black history in the museums. Museums are terrified. I have contacts that I'm talking to inside of the Interior Department, people who are running all of those spaces where you can go and see a Civil War memorial or something. The people who work in these places are terrified. They're afraid to tell the real history. The people who are working for the federal government are afraid to say the word Black. You guys have canceled Black scholarships. You're damn near, I guess, ready to get rid of HBCUs. Donald Trump just recently said they're not going to fund any minority-serving institution. Y'all have gotten rid of that. You've gotten rid of help for Black kids to go to college. What more do you want? What are you so angry about? I go every so often, I go and look on X Twitter. Y'all are the maddest people ever. Y'all are so angry for people who have everything. Y'all said you want your country back. You have it. The rest of us are sitting back and trying to keep our peace and preserve our peace while you all are running the country. If the airlines are crashing, that's you. That's the people you wanted to run the United States government. The FBI, y'all are laughing at them on X Twitter and saying that they look ridiculous. That's your FBI. They've purged the people who made the FBI what it was. It's not what you wanted. You have your podcasters running the FBI. You have your friend from the real world running the Department of Transportation. That's what you wanted. There's no longer a gay guy there. The gay guy's gone. The gay guy's at home with his kid and his husband. He's not in charge anymore. The Department of Justice is what you wanted. It's your Justice Department that won't release the Epstein files. If you're mad about the Epstein files, you shouldn't be mad at me and the left. You need to be mad at Donald Trump. You all have the country. You run every red state like it's already Project 2025. You won't let women have abortions in Texas. They're literally dying of sepsis. That's what you wanted. You wanted women to have only 6 weeks to get an abortion in Georgia. You got it. You wanted Texas to be a petri dish and a laboratory for every right-wing, anti-Black, anti-gay, anti-trans idea. And you also got rid of vaccines. Every child in Florida is now going to go to school with kids who could give them measles, mumps, and rubella and COVID. That's what y'all wanted. You now have a paradise in Florida where you can get sick, cough on people, let them die of whatever disease you're carrying. It's almost like you've got the pilgrims again that can come and cough on all the natives and take them out. That's what you wanted. You got it. You wanted Florida to be that. It's that. You wanted the United States to be Florida. It's that. But yet you all are still so angry. I don't understand it. I genuinely don't understand it. I don't mean to rant and rave, but I am genuinely trying to get to the bottom of what you all are so angry about. And I think I have a suspicion and I have a guess. What you all are angry about is that while you have gotten everything you wanted on the right, we on the other side won't give you love for it. We won't respect you for it. We won't hail you for it. We won't respect you and say, hey, we want to, have you at the Oscars. We want to fet you. We want to make you guys, we want to wrap our arms around you. You want us to embrace you. You don't just want to run us and tell us what to do and tell us what to think and tell us what to read and tell us what history we can have. You don't just want to tell us what to do. You want us to embrace you. What you really want is to sit at our table. You're mad because while you are running the country into the ground, you're destroying your own farmers with tariffs. You're destroying your own farmers by taking away their subsidies that used to go with USAID. You got what you wanted. They've ended the farm subsidies. These are the things y'all asked for. You got your big, beautiful budget. That's what you wanted. Trump gave it right to you. You got your permanent tax cut. You're still pissed because the left, the other side, the majority, we still cannot stand you. We cannot stand Christian nationalism. We don't want it. And because we will not say we want your Christian nationalism, we embrace your Christian nationalism. We like your Christian nationalism. We like you. Because we won't do that, that's why you're still mad. But guess what we're going to keep on doing? We're going to keep on being moisturized and unbothered, and we still not going to like it. We're never going to like Christian nationalism. We're never going to accept it. We're never going to be down with it. And our squad is bigger than your squad at the end of the day. We have the Boricuas. We got the Mexican Americans. They done woke up. They said, whoo, Lord, let's go ahead and go with these folks. We got the spicy whites. The spicy white folk are with us. They're with us, right? We got the Asian Americans who woken up and said, whoa, we better be with them, right? Chinese Americans, they see you. Japanese Americans are like, you're going to do internment again? We see you.
South Koreans
are like, whoa, we see you. Y'all gonna kick the South Koreans out. Now you're going to cry because Georgia's going to have a worse economy because you're not going to get to have the South Koreans teaching y'all to have those high-tech jobs. The South Koreans are like, oh, well, sure hate it. Africa's like, we're just going to do business with each other. We got bricks. We don't need y'all. Tourists are like, we don't need y'all. The African Americans, the Caribbean Americans are getting together and said, yo, why are we fighting each other? Caribbean Americans are like, yo, we were y'all. We've been in hip hop together. Let's go off. And you're mad at us because we do not want to be with you. This America you want, that's yours, y'all. You keep it. We don't want it.
All right, guys. So you've had the views. You've heard what people are saying. They say they want Kamala. They say Kamala was the best option. Yes, the reality is Kamala education background, experience, everything on paper sounds good. Everything on paper looks perfect. And of course, she was the vice president of America. So now she was campaigning to become the president of America, the first female Black American to become president of America. And people expected her to be the winner. People expected her to be elected. But the reality is America ready for a first woman president? That's the question. So what happened? Well, she lost the election. So now, 2 years down the line, white Americans, Maga voters are saying, well, Kamala was the best option. And yes, we wish we can turn back the clock. Things are different. So why are we having this discussion now? Why are people right now talking about this situation? So when Kamala Harris was the vice president and later ran for president, many voters, including large groups of white Americans, supported her because of her experience, her commitment to protecting civil rights, and her push for a more equal society. Supporters felt she was a strong voice for modern, diverse America and a capable leader. However, opinions shifted and continue to shift for a few main reasons. Why is that? America is deeply divided with two main political parties. White Americans, just like every other group in the US, do not all think the same way. While many support ideas, many others disagree with the policies on things like economy, taxes, and government spending, and they vote for the opposing candidate. Also, a major reason people change their minds is because of how they feel the economy is doing. Voters often judge leaders based on the cost of living, inflation, and job opportunities. When times are tough financially, many voters look for a change in leadership, even if they like the person previously. But the reality is 2 years down the line, now the white Americans are saying the opposite. They say they wish they could turn back the time, they wish they could change their vote and voted for Kamala. Lastly, choosing a best option is personal. Some voters prioritize a candidate background and social values, while others focus purely on business regulation and foreign policy. People naturally change their minds as their own priorities shift. So, in conclusion, the shift isn't about Harris personally changing, but rather voters constantly weighing different political, social, and economic issues to decide who they believe will best run the country at any given time. But one thing is for sure, make America great again. That slogan, so many Americans right now, especially the Maga voters, are crying and they feel betrayed and they feel hopeless because they were made promises which right now have not been fulfilled. People have lost their jobs, grocery prices have gone high, gas prices has gone high, people are not able to be able to afford to pay their bills, people are literally not able to pay their mortgages. Yes, rent also is very expensive. So America asking that question, what's going on? What's going on? Did we vote for the right person to come to the office, or did we vote for the wrong person? Especially MAGA voters, especially the MAGA farmers, because they've lost everything right now as we speak. They've lost the China market, they have lost the government bailout, they have lost farm workers. Right now farmers are losing everything as a result of voting the way they did. So who is to be blamed? That's the question I'd love for you guys to give me the answer. But one thing is for sure, they are losing everything and they're feeling it and they're crying and they wish they can change time and choose Kamala. Do you agree? I'd love for you guys to tell me. I'd love to hear from you guys. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. Until next time, bye-bye.